when you were 13, something happened to Prashant, your older brother.
Yeah.
You mind talking about that?
Sure. Unfortunately, my brother got bitten by a mosquito. He got malaria when I was 13 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And
how old was he?
He was 3 years older,
Okay.
so he must be 16.
Young, okay.
Yeah, he was about to come to Canada. He was actually going to go to University of Toronto to study.
Mm-hmm.
So it was in that moment I sort of decided secretly, silently within myself that no matter what happens, I'm going to move to Canada. I want to take my twin brother with me and we're going to make his dream come true. He was such an intelligent person. He was truly the gem of the family, probably a son that everyone wants. And it was very unfortunate when he passed away.
Was it like did he have a long battle with it? I'm sure some people might hear this and not realize this could even happen.
Yeah.
Was this a common issue in Nigeria?
It is common for a lot of people to get malaria, but not cerebral malaria. And that's what he had. And he passed away within a week. His organs started failing and there was just nothing anyone could have done. And again, given that we were in Nigeria where we know that medical facilities, they're just not very good.
Got it.
Absolutely. On July 12th is when my twin brother passed away. He passed away from a unit that him and I purchased together in Mississauga. After we graduated, we got our jobs. It's going well. And I kept getting phone calls from an unknown number, and I usually don't pick up unknown numbers. And I didn't pick up the call. And at 1:30 in the morning, I had work the next day. At 1:30 in the morning, I kept getting calls from my concierge. And I was living at Yonge and Eglinton, very close to work at that time. And somehow, James, I knew it in that moment when I kept getting those calls, because I did pick up the call from my concierge the third time, and it was a police officer. And I let him in. He came up to my door and he said, "May I come in? Could you please have a seat?" And even before I let him into my house, I actually said it out loud. My twin brother passed away, didn't he? And it was in that moment, like when he said, yes, he did, and it looks like it could have been a suicide case. I just paused. I just took some time to gather my thoughts. And truthfully, I think there was a choice I had in that moment. Either I could have freaked out, or I could have kept my calm, taken a few minutes, a few seconds to get my thoughts together and reacted. And given that I didn't have any family here, I had to be the one to take that on. I wanted to take that on. I didn't want my parents to go through that. And so I did. I told the police officer, give me 10 minutes. I gathered my thoughts and I started taking out sticky notes and started writing out everything that the police officer is telling me that I need to do next. But I actually had to call my parents on FaceTime to tell them.
You did?
I did. So I took 10 minutes. The police officer came back in, wrote down everything I needed to do. But I did call my parents on FaceTime. I told them, you need to have a seat. We need to talk. Tushar passed away.
Wow.
And they thought that the first thing my dad said, he had an accident, didn't he? Accident being, driving a car accident. And I said, no, he took his life. And they asked me how. And I said that he jumped from the balcony.
So there was a little government story that I was involved in with you. I believe it was in 2016. So basically, just to kind of set the stage here. So you come to Canada, you get your university education here.
Yeah.
You own a condo. I think did you have a renter eventually? I can't recall, but you own a condo. You have a full-time job. You're paying your taxes. And what does the government say to you?
That I had to leave.
They had to leave.
Yeah, my work permit was just not working out. We had applied to get an LMIA, and that was getting rejected because there was something called a NOC code, an NOC code that has to do something with the actual role, not really your title. And there was a big discrepancy there between what I was actually doing, like technical work that I was doing versus what was available on the Government of Canada's website. And
this is all coming back to me now. So basically, I got my employment lawyer involved because I thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
At this time, people, if you're not in Canada, they may or may not have heard this, but at this time, there were a lot of refugees coming into Canada from Syria that were making the news because they were putting them up in hotels in Winnipeg. They didn't speak the language. A lot of them just weren't employable because of their situation. Meanwhile, like I said, you fully employed, pay your taxes, got your education, you own a condo, and they're telling you to leave. And like you just said, their knock codes were outdated.
Yeah.
So what the government wanted was for Aanchal to explain, look at this list of jobs that they have and explain which one of these fit what you do.
Yeah.
Well, the knock codes the government had were from the 30s, might as well have been. And so online marketing, which is what we did, there was nothing remotely close on their list of knock codes.
Yeah.
And that made it just very difficult in order to try to file this paperwork.
Yeah. So in that moment, what I decided to do was I held a couple of nonprofit charity work in Bombay. That was the first time ever I actually by myself led a project. And while I was there at the orphanage, I'm like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to continue to do because this is actually bringing me some joy. And I'm capable of actually helping people, so why not? Really wanted to help people understand that there's a difference in mental health versus mental illness. I think because there's people don't understand that is why people aren't reaching out for help, right? Because we think that we can control everything and we can fix everything, but you wouldn't say that if you had a broken arm.
So tell me about Reach Out Together. What is it? How did it come about? What do you do? All of that.
When I held my first event in Bombay for the very first time when I left here, it was in that moment I'm like, I want to do more of this. This brings me joy. And I came back to Toronto and just kept hosting events. It wasn't registered, the organization. I was just doing it as a community initiative. And
I remember we sponsored one of your first events.
Yes, you did.
I remember.
That was a really big success as well.
Okay.
Thank you for that. That was really good. We had about 200 people that came out to that, young professionals. We brought in psychologists from CAMH to speak about mental health, mental illness. We had a lot of activities during that event that actually help people talk about it, whatever you're going through, without having to feel judged. Safe space.
So Reach Out Together essentially is about promoting mental health awareness, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
And we do that through hosting community events, workshops, workplace seminars.
So you've got Reach Out Together. You're doing speaking engagements. Alicia, we're pre-COVID.
Yes.
And then as if that's not enough, you decide that you want to co-write a book.
Yes.
Which is the one that I held up here, Success Strategies. Now, I am not a book guy. I'm not going to lie.
Didn't you write a book?
I did.
Yes.
I can write. I don't read. That's, I guess that's the difference. But I did not know who Jack Canfield was. I understand your older brother read his book.
Yes.
What was the book called again? There's multiple books. Okay.
Chicken Soup of the Soul book series. It's a book series for young children.
I've heard of it.
I remember when I was really young, I had a massive library. I wasn't a reader, neither was Tushar, but my older brother was, and we had a library full of his books. And I personally believe my brother was the way he was. It was so open-minded and nothing like a person from my culture or the background, like where we come from. He was so inclusive of me, being a girl from my community. He kind of opened the space for me to do everything and anything I wanted to, regardless of me being a girl or not. And I think he developed that through these books. And I've always known of Jack Canfield through him. And when I got an opportunity to co-author a book with him, I was like, really? Me? Why me?
Okay, so I gotta ask.
Sure.
I gotta ask.
Yes.
It's one thing to know who an author is, right?
Yes.
It's not like I know who Stephen King is.
Right.
I don't think I'm just gonna pick up a phone and co-write a book with Stephen King. So how do you go from knowing who this person is to writing a book with this person? Like, how does that happen?
Universe just made it happen. I truly believe in one thing, setting a vision. I truly believe in it. It may sound weird to a lot of people, but it's real. So I actually got nominated for an award as well through getting to know him in LA. It was the XP Award for Thought Leadership in Media and Communications. And I ended up winning that last year in August, I believe, which was really cool because I ended up taking my parents to LA that year as well.
Nice.
So they were there to witness it. It was really nice.
Very cool. Very cool.
And what I want to do is create an environment for people where there is an understanding of mental health, and we're encouraging people in our communities to go reach out for help and support. Because, James, we're not alone. Like everything that each one of us are going through, there are a lot of people in the world that are going through similar things.
Sure.
But if we can connect and talk about it, we'd be able to move forward. You know, I have been relentless in my pursuit of well-being these last couple of years. It has not been easy. It may look like it's been easy because I'm like out there doing things, but it has not been easy. And what I have learned is when I wake up in the morning, I have a choice. Even if I'm waking up not feeling good and I'm demotivated, I don't want to end my day feeling like this. I want to end my day feeling good. A good day, a productive day, whatever that means to me. And I'll do whatever I need to do to make that happen, even when I lack motivation.
Right.
And I want to help people have that kind of mindset.